what's your take on this wide receiving core?
Oh, I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. I think it's absolutely horrendous.
Wait a second. There's a penalty on the play, and I'm like, what?
Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk from two men in the know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
Joining us on the phone, we have NFL prospect and future XFL player Jeremiah Spicer.
I don't know, man. I don't like to talk about myself like that, man.
Yeah. I told him if the Raiders took it, Oliver, I was going to take him in the bathroom. He won twice.
Here's the last time I checked, I am God, so slow your roll. Slow your roll down.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to another episode of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, and alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, Know-It-Alls? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show. We are ready to go, locked and loaded, talking playoffs, y'all. Oh, no, wait, no.
We're not talking
No,
playoffs,
we're talking
Joe.
Giants.
Giants.
And what the hell are the Giants doing?
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. I just don't know what's going on. Yes.
Absolutely. Even little John's upset.
Yeah, everybody's wondering what is the deal with the Giants here, Joe.
It's a cold case.
Yeah, now we know it's the playoffs. A lot of teams are out of here. We saw a lot of coaching hires and fires and stuff like that. So
a lot of moves,
a lot of interviews going around. A bunch of other teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Dallas Cowboys, they ended up finding their guy.
Mike McCarthy.
They got Mike McCarthy there. I was really rooting as a Giants fan to get Mike McCarthy
lock
here.
him up,
I wanted to get some of a guy that's been there before.
Right.
It's not his first rodeo. Has a great winning record.
Yep.
Has won a
Experience.
Super Bowl. And the key here is you and I have talked about this before.
That's right.
And we're going to trademark this. Experience over experiment. So we like experience over experiments. The Giants, they have gone too many experiments in the last couple of years. They've gone with
It's a tongue twister.
Ben McAdoo. Yes, Ben McAdoo. TM. Ben McAdoo. What they liked him is because he was offensive coordinator. Kind of retrained
Offensive
Eli to go off of a different foot and different play calls with the hand signals and gestures. When they finally got to their last straw with the Tom Coughlin era, where they had got rid of Kevin Gilbride and the defensive coordinator.
Who, mind you, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
But Kevin Gilbride is now the head coach of the New York Guardians in the XFL.
There you go. So we get to see him again, and maybe he's changed a little bit here, and maybe he's got a little sprinkle of new stuff going on here, or maybe he's going to do basically run on first down, run on second down, pass on third down,
That's right.
punt, like we saw before. But, so then McAdoo, they liked what he was going to do. They had to move Tom Coughlin in. McAdoo comes in that first season, and they go like 11-5. Looks pretty good so far. Second year with some of the other talent, not so much. Downhill fall from there. They get rid of him before the end of that season, and they got Steve Spagnuolo to finish up the season. And then they bring in Pat Shurmur, who did well. They saw what happened with Case Keenum, but I think it was all the VR. Maybe Case Keenum with the VR that got him better in Minnesota there. And so they brought him over, and he goes something. I think he's 9-23. They got rid of Ben McAdoo when he was 13-15. But Pat Shurmur in 2 seasons, 9-23. And here they give him the boot. So now Pat Shurmur is out as the New York Giants head coach here. So the search began, and there was Matt Rule that everybody was thinking, maybe grab him, the head coach from Baylor. But now he has got taken by the Carolina Panthers.
All of a sudden.
So who was it? You heard they maybe were going to bring in Josh McDaniels too with the Patriots, and they also looked at Joe Judge, the special teams coordinator and
wide receiver
coach here for the New England Patriots as well. And I think like a lot of other teams, they try and get some of these Patriot coaches from that coaching, the Belichick coaching tree. There's a few Patriots head coaches in the NFL right now. Little had success before. Now we're seeing Mike Vrabel come in and actually dethrone Belichick himself out of here now, which is good.
Ex-player.
Yes, ex-player. And now, Matt Patricia has wins against the Patriots. And also now even Brian Flores with the Miami Dolphins at the end of the season pulled off a win here. So I think the train of thought they were thinking with the New York Giants, they go and get Joe Judge here for the New England Patriots as their new head coach.
A.K.A. Judge Judy.
Yeah, there you go. And when I heard the news here, I was just about livid here. I didn't know what to expect. I hear it, and I was just... Yes, basically, that's what I was saying. Again, too, because I've seen enough of these experiments, and I want the experience, Joe. Now, what is your reaction from the head coach hire of Joe Judge?
This is just erroneous. Erroneous on all accounts. It's absolutely ridiculous. When you hire Joe Judge, you are fully entrusting this guy who looks like he's a pharmaceutical seller. This is just ridiculous because here's the thing: is Joe Judge is not coming from any kind of coordinator experience. He's not coming from anything of a head coach experience in college or even in high school. There's nothing, no trace of anything throughout his career of actually being a coordinator or head coach. And now, because he's made his career on being an assistant, and he's grown, obviously, into those positions and has been promoted, and he's made it to the NFL. That's fantastic. He made it to the NFL. He was on the Patriots staff, and he was the special teams coordinator and wide receiver coach. That's great. But for the New York Football Giants, for them to go ahead and nobody thought Joe Judge was a head coaching candidate. Not even the Patriots thought he was a head coaching candidate. And, of course, the Patriots are going to be like, yeah, sure, you can interview him. You're taking their assistant away from them? Okay, that's fine. But Joe Judge has no coordinator or head coaching experience, which has got to be really concerning already. It's bad enough that you take a head coach from college football and throw him to the Wolves in the NFL, which is a very stressful and a position that you need to know what you're doing. You need to have that experience in the NFL to know how everything is run and how you should handle yourself. Joe Judge has nothing, has none of that. Now you put him into a very high position, into a position for the New York Football Giants. I'm sorry. I don't have any confidence in this kid. I don't see anything that he's done in the past to warrant this position that he's now been given. And unless the Giants surround him by a lot, and I mean a lot of experience on his staff, normally the head coach is given the right to go and hire for his staff. If that's the case, how many relationships does this guy have? He was only an assistant with the Patriots. It's not like he's been around for a while. He's been like the D coordinator or offensive coordinator and has established some relationships throughout the league to where he could be like, oh, I could bring this guy in as my DC, this guy in as my OC, and we're going to be okay. But it's going to be – right now the rumors is that Jason Garrett of all the candidates, Jason Garrett is now available. The rumor is that Jason Garrett could possibly be the next New York Giants offensive coordinator. Now.
No, God!
Now.
No, God, please,
it's okay. Yes, I know. Calm down. I know. Everybody's going to go nuts over this. All the Giants fans are going to lose their minds. Garrett, no way. He can't wear Giants blue. It's not right. Hold on a second. Listen to what... Now, we just got done talking about experience, right? Jason Garrett does bring experience. He once was an offensive coordinator. He once was a head coach in college. He has experience in those positions to where he has knowledge. But the only problem for us fans and for Giants fans, it's going to be hard to grasp because when's the last time that we've seen him call the plays? It's been a long time. Can he get right back into that offensive coordinator position and handle it like he did before? Is he a little rusty, perhaps? A lot of questions still arise and are still unanswered right now for the New York Giants. But, man, I am completely blown away that Joe Judge is now the head coach of the Giants. I don't know why. I don't understand. I can't even comprehend a reason why this makes sense. It just doesn't. And for a guy who has no experience, this is a position for the New York Giants. Now, listen, I know some people might think I'm nuts, I'm crazy, I'm off the wall, but a healthy Giants roster, this offense especially, is not far from being competitive. We've seen them pull off a couple of upsets this season that we never thought they were going to do, but they did it. But if they can improve this offensive line, if they can get these weapons that they already have in Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard, and now they have Golden Tate, if they can all be healthy for a season, they could, with Barkley in the backfield, I'm sorry, this team could really go somewhere. They do still need to build on that defensive side. They're still not quite there yet with all the talent, but now the other problem is by cleaning house. With Dave Gettleman still remains as the GM, this has got to be concerning for you Giants fans, is that he's okay with this signing as a head coach. I'm sorry. I know the owners sign off on it, but come on. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. The owners are okay with bringing in an assistant as a head coach when they've been struggling for so long. Pat Shurmur had way more experience than this guy. I'm sorry, but Shurmur, to be honest, I would have kept him if Joe Judge was the top candidate or the guy that they wanted. I would have much rather kept Shurmur. At least he had experience. But that's not the case, and that's got to be concerning going forward.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And, when I heard the news again breaking today, I was upset when I thought it was going to be Jason Garrett. But when I heard it was Joe Judge.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And again, because I'm tired of seeing this already. We saw it for the last 4 seasons, and I remember the Tom Coughlin days. Bill Parcells, those guys, strong guys that demand the room. They demand to be there, on time and all this stuff here. What
and
the Giants are kind of
experience.
known for, that have experience. Yes, Joe Judge has been an assistant coach here for his alma mater at Mississippi State. He's also been a special teams coach at Alabama for a little bit as an assistant.
Miami Dolphins?
But yeah, in Miami Dolphins. So, I mean, yes, he's been with some of these. Again, if you're looking at it's like when you look at the when everybody wanted the next Rams coach here,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're all looking for. You're like, well, he had dinner with this guy. You were next to Nick Saban for a little bit. You were next to Bill Belichick for a little bit. So you must be the same guy.
No.
And I just don't get that
No.
information altogether there. And when you're looking at Jason Garrett, the one thing, like you said, you haven't seen him call plays in a while, so you're not sure.
Not sure,
What everybody's
right.
kind of used to now is him as head coach. You see him on the sidelines, and you just see him clapping a lot, check his microphone, and this and that.
Well,
and the
he's
other
the
thing.
head coach, so.
And what
was.
Yeah, but what was the problem here that everybody has always trying to figure out with the Dallas Cowboys? You have the talent, offense isn't getting the things done they probably should. So get rid of Scott Linehan. It's his problem. It's his fault.
Right.
You get Kellen Moore in here. Oh, he looks a lot better. Dak really relates to him. Look how well Dak is playing. But when it came down to winning games and plays at the end of the game that were deciders,
Big-time
show
games,
you
yep.
if you're a good team and you could win under pressure when it's there, you call runs when you're not supposed to, and Dak Prescott is throwing it in the dirt. And that's what you're dealing with. So that's what people see, and that doesn't show, to me, a lot of offensive cohesion that I want for the New York Giants, who don't have the personnel that the Dallas Cowboys have. They have some great players here and there. Yes, I like Saquon Barkley. Offensive line still needs help.
Needs a lot of help.
But we've been talking about that for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
And it's sad that I beat this dog to death here, but it has to come down to the curse of Zack Martin in 2014. Yes, he was not a left tackle. He was a guard, but he was there at the 12th spot. The Giants are picking 12th in 2014. Aaron Donald was there still, too. A bunch of other playmakers, but we needed offensive line.
Right.
I'm one of those guys as a team, a fan of the team. I know what our needs are, and I think we should go for needs. I understand getting best value at talent that's there. I hear you there. But I like to tackle needs. And we needed an offensive lineman. Zack Martin was the guy to get. You get Odell Beckham Jr. now. And in 2019, he isn't even on our team anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But just to back up that argument that you had, Zack Martin, you say like you wanted a need. Zack Martin was rated high. It wasn't just a need. He was also one of the best players to take. So for the Giants to kind of skip over that and say, well, we could take Odell. Now, that's not a bad pick. It still isn't a bad pick. Just Dave Gettleman decided to sign him and trade him, which it doesn't make any sense why he did that, but he did it anyway. So now that he's traded away one of their assets, and yes, was it the right decision? It kind of was when you think about it. They got a lot in compensation. They were able to build more around that team, and they got more prospects in from the draft because of it for the long term, so they could help build this team. Now, here's the other issue, is by bringing in Joe Judge, what is he good at? We don't know. You could say, oh, well, oh, yeah, he was a wide receivers coach. How were the wide receivers looking?
Yeah, exactly. N'Keal Harry's dropping and not running full routes where
Tom
Brady's
look very good.
yelling at him in the playoffs.
Didn't look very good. But, the one thing you can hang your hat on, Giants fans, is that he's a great special teams coordinator. He had the New England Patriots as one of the top special teams in the NFL. So, at the very least, the Giants are going to have a great special teams. But past that, I don't know what to expect. Offensively, I don't know what to expect defensively. And here's the other thing, is for Giants fans that had the idea or at least saw some things throughout the year where you could be positive on. The offense, once in a while when they played against defenses, they played pretty well. But then there was other times where they played pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But those times that they played pretty well, it was all because maybe they were starting to come into learning that offense as a whole. Maybe they were the chemistry is starting to build up. Same thing goes for the defense. Now, the defense, you guys still have a lot of holes. You still got to fill them. There's still a long way from that. But depending on what kind of D coordinator you get, depending on what kind of offensive coordinator you get, it's like closing the book, getting a new one out, and now it's a clean slate. You got to open up and you got to write down all new information now. All those players that knew the systems from before, the 3-4 right?
Yeah, the 3-4 scheme. They just were, yes.
You guys had a 3-4 defense, and now with Pat Shurmur's offense, guess what? Scrap all that. So all those players that were learning the offense and the defense, now it's all going to be new again. They all have to relearn the schemes. They all got to try to adapt to it and become and the chemistry's got to flow once again. So for the Giants, by getting rid of Shurmur, yes, was it the right decision? It could have been. I thought the Giants were keying on one. I thought they were keying on Mike McCarthy. That was one guy that I think they liked. But another guy I thought that should be, who is also from the Patriots, is Josh McDaniels. I thought that would have been a logical decision in bringing him in. If he accepted, he could have been a new face as a head coach. That would have made more sense to Giants fans, I think. That would have made more sense to me. He's a guy that has experience, even though he had a very short life down in Denver as a head coach. Didn't really pan out down there. Maybe he could with the Giants. They have a quarterback that he could help develop in Daniel Jones, and he has weapons. More than you can say for the Patriots right now. Patriots really don't have that many weapons to go to anymore. I think the Giants have more weapons than the Patriots do.
And going off that point, what I did like about that, when he was in Denver, you had Tim Tebow. He might have struck a big swing and a miss there.
Yeah.
But they adapted the offense to what his talents were.
Right.
And that's a key here.
And they were successful
That's
early
what
on.
I like, what he could possibly do with the
Daniel
New York
Jones.
Giants here, too. The only question was, I think, and what still is possibly with Josh McDaniels, is he going to leave New England? There's a big question mark in New England, and maybe we'll do another episode on them alone of what's going to go on there, because it could be shaken up all over here. But, will he leave? Or will he say he's going to leave and then back out again if Robert Kraft gives him another better deal? And the funny thing is here, there's another connection with Joe Judge and Josh McDaniels is Joe Judge was going to go with him, part of his coaching personnel, to Indianapolis when he get hired there. And when Josh McDaniels backed out, that's when Joe Judge was like, I think I'm going to stay here too. That sounds like a good idea. And then Frank Reich takes over. So, again, not showing even that he's a leader and wanting to do everything, following what Josh McDaniel does and goes along with that. So maybe even on that point of view, the Giants are looking at him at, well, he's close enough to McDaniels too. He's younger. Maybe he's like-minded.
No.
I don't know, but that's too many hypotheticals,
Right.
too many questions, and I've dealt with that for the last 4 years or so. I'm not dealing with that anymore, but I'm going to have to, though.
Now you're kind of
I'm going to have to.
Now you're
So
stuck with
now,
him.
the next question
You
for
signed
me,
him.
who is the offensive coordinator?
Right. Who's going to be
the defensive coordinator?
Exactly.
Wade Phillips is out there now. So there's other questions possibly
Here's
too that some
something-
of these other guys can
Yeah,
do.
you're right. And here's something else that is a little confusing to me is I heard that the Giants were also interested in the D coordinator for the Ravens.
Yeah, I thought so.
I
I thought
thought-
that's where they would go too as well.
I thought they should have been a little bit more patient.
Yep.
Wait till after the Ravens get out of the playoffs, and then, or even when they're on break, and interview him. I thought that also would have made way more sense than Joe Judge. Unfortunately, we're not going to really know how this is all going to shake out. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Joe Judge is the next greatest thing out of thin air. We don't know. But what's going to be a key element in the Giants' success going forward is you're going to have to surround Joe Judge because of the lack of experience in play calling duties or even being a head coach. They're going to have to surround him with experience. Joe Judge is now the perfect experiment.
That would
for
be
the-
like
for the New
making
York Football
Arthur
Giants.
Smith of the Titans the
Right.
head coach instantly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
He was tight ends coach and offensive line coach for a
like
long
if
time.
Vrabel
and
just
boom,
that would have made more sense because he's a coordinator.
right.
He's not an assistant, you know what I mean? At least he's a coordinator, and we've seen him call plays this season, and we know what he's all about. That would make more
that's
sense.
what's kind of weird there. And as far as let's see where the chips lie.
Real
we'll
quick.
see. Yeah, sure.
Real quick. Here's some more candidates that the Giants could have signed. Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs. He's an offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. He's deserving of a head coaching job. Me and Jim, we were talking off the air, and Jim just mentioned, Byron Leftwich. He's supposed to be a guy that's going to be up and running for a head
He
coaching
is.
job. Maybe not this season, as we can see, but
further in
probably next year you could see Byron Leftwich maybe getting some interviews as a head coach. So there are coaches around that are deserving of being a head coach, but for whatever reason, I'm sorry, Giants fans. Now you have Joe Judge as your head coach. We're gonna have to, kind of calm down. We're gonna have to try to really evaluate and see how this guy acts. I'll tell you this right now: a big key to a new head coach that's hired is their press conference. How do they act at their first press conference? Do they act assertive? Do they act confident? Do they have answers for every question that is given to them? That's what I'm interested to
Or
see.
do they chase tacos around this guy?
They could. But that is going to be something interesting to see for Giants fans and for me myself is when he does have his official press conference. I'm officially a head coach of the New York Giants. How he handles the room, because New York media, they don't back down. They're not afraid to pressure you and keep pounding you, calling you names, whatever it is.
absolutely, and deal with that.
It's going to be a true test to see, one, is he a strong guy? Is he a confident guy? Does he have the answers? So that's going to be interesting to see going forward. Giants fans, we'll have to wait and see how this all shapes out. We got to see what the rest of the coaching staff is going to look like. But a lot of questions still. A lot of questions.
Absolutely, and when you're talking about this, it kind of makes me think too that possibly because we saw the Mike McCarthy thing happen, and then Matt Rule kind of jumps right in again as we're hearing the breaking news come out. It seems like they were like, "Oh, guys are starting to go now. Make the jump
gotta
on
make
it." Sort of like we see in fantasy leagues when What do you do? when you
Defenses
see,
start to go,
boom,
or
yeah,
kickers, or
exactly.
something ridiculous.
Somebody pulls the plug on
Oh,
something.
that's my guy.
Yeah. Finally, the sink has been unplugged, and everybody's like, everybody's starting to go for those. Now I have to jump on my guy.
Like
to
the
get
first
him,
2 rounds are all running backs.
Running
You're like,
backs,
crap,
wide
dude, I didn't
receivers.
take mine yet. I got to take this guy.
Yep, and somebody goes and jumps on the defenses.
Right,
yep,
right,
it's
right.
kind of like that, and that's what I'm kind of afraid of here. Like, be patient with it, see what happens. And you brought up Byron Leftwich when we talked about it off the air. Look what he's done this season with Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston led the league in passing yards, and 2 of their receivers are in top 5 in receiving yards. I mean, that just doesn't just happen. I mean, Jameis Winston, you get night and day, but you know you can't uncoach the turnovers because he's just a blockhead. But besides that, I mean, if you look at Tampa Bay's offense, they were looking really good. It's just some of those mistakes came around to bite them, and leaky defense and the corner positions that killed that team ultimately. But Byron Leftwich, again, he's been an up-and-coming name, has gone and paid his dues, not only being a quarterback in the NFL, a starting quarterback,
Offensive
but being coordinators, then coaches, and moving up through the ranks, now with Bruce Arians, a great head coach in his own mind, too, there and amongst the league. Learning under him, too, as well. And I thought maybe he would even take over the torch there in Tampa Bay. But he is getting overlooked, I think, by a lot of people, and that's unfair.
Here's a crazy thing too, and I know like we were talking about it off the air, but I know Giants fans are going to be very upset by this. But if Garrett does indeed become the new offensive coordinator for the Giants, at least he has experience in that same capacity. He's called plays before. He has been a head coach, so he could help. He could even be the assistant head coach, I guess. He could even help Joe Judge in growing into that position. But he'll have, if he's hired, and if he agrees to be hired, he'll have more experience by far than Joe Judge will ever have. So that's kind of funny. All right, know-it-alls. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you for all the support. Also want to say, if you guys, let us know in the comments below what your feelings are about the Giants' new hire. Are you all for it? Are you against it? Are you for the possible addition of as an offensive coordinator for Jason Garrett? Let us know in the comments below. Anything that you want to ask questions, add comments, do whatever you wish down below, and we'll make sure and try to get to everybody. But thanks a lot for showing up. Thanks to everybody out there. Go ahead and share us. Share us. Sharing is caring, right?
It is true. It is.
So all the know-it-alls out there. Wait, what's that? You don't know what a know-it-all is? Yeah. Oh, well, let me break it down for you real quick. A know-it-all is a member of the know-it-all family here. You know, so we call you guys, our fans, know-it-alls. So if you want to become a know-it-all, go ahead and head over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for any alerts for our latest updated content. As well, you can go shift over to Twitter, and we do our best to try to keep up with all the latest and greatest news around the NFL. Go ahead and add us on Twitter at FB_know. We're also on Facebook. If you like Facebook, go ahead and search us Football on the Know Show. We'll pop right up there. Our group is there. Go ahead and reach out to us any way you feel free. We'll be happy to respond.
Absolutely. Thanks again, and we will see you guys next time.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.